Hey everyone, ready for a deep dive into managing anxiety and stress?
Sounds good to me.
You know, we live in such a hectic world.
Right.
Deadlines at work, family stuff, everything feels so fast-paced. Sometimes it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
But don't worry,
No.
we've got you covered.
Yeah.
We're going to break down some really practical strategies for managing all of that anxiety and stress.
That's right.
We're going to cover it all today,
Yep.
from breathing exercises to routines that can help you prioritize your well-being.
That's right. We'll talk about it.
And we'll even touch on when to seek professional help if you need it.
Yeah,
Sounds good.
absolutely. I think it's fascinating how much research is out there that shows we don't have to just be like victims of stress.
Right.
There are things we can do, practical tools and techniques,
That's great.
backed by science. We can actually retrain our minds and bodies to respond differently to stress.
That's really empowering.
Yeah.
So what's like the first thing? What's the first tool in our toolkit that we can use to combat stress?
Well, mindfulness and meditation are always at the top of the list.
Yeah.
People think of meditation as something you do on a mountaintop,
Right.
but you know, it's actually really accessible. We looked at one study that showed that just 10 minutes a day of meditation
Wow.
can significantly reduce anxiety,
Really?
even for beginners.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
You know, I've dabbled with some of the meditation apps,
No,
but sometimes it's hard to make the time.
I get that.
What makes meditation so effective?
Yeah.
And are there like easier ways to do it? Like if you're busy?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the key to meditation is really about training your mind to be in the present moment without judgment.
Yeah.
You know, it's like you hit the pause button on that constant stream of worries and to-dos.
Right.
And I mean, yeah, you're right. It's hard to fit in a long meditation.
Yeah.
Even just a few minutes can make a difference. It's all about consistency, really.
So you're saying like even if I just have like a minute or two, if I focus on my breath,
Yes.
that can actually help calm my anxiety.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, one of the articles we looked at talks about a really simple breathing meditation that you can do anywhere, anytime.
Right.
Just find a comfortable position, close your eyes, and observe your breath. Don't try to change it. Just notice it.
Okay.
Notice how it feels to breathe in and breathe out.
Yeah.
And if your mind wanders, which it will,
Yeah.
just gently bring it back to your breath.
Okay.
It's like a little mini vacation for your mind.
I like that. I'm adding that to my to-do list right now. So speaking of easy techniques,
Okay.
I was really intrigued by the 4-7-8 breathing method that we came across. But I have to admit, it seems almost too simple.
Yeah.
Can you explain like the science behind it?
Yeah, it is remarkable how such a simple technique can have such a huge effect on your body.
Right.
But it's really when you practice this deep, controlled breathing, like you're essentially hacking your nervous system.
Oh, wow.
And that 4-7-8 method that we talked about, that really helps regulate your heart rate, like the variation in time between each beat. And when there's more variation, that's actually associated with a calmer nervous system and a greater ability to cope with stress.
So that's so interesting. So by like changing how we breathe, we can signal to our bodies to just chill out.
Exactly. And you can do it anywhere.
Oh, that's great.
At your desk, in a traffic jam,
Mm.
even like before you give a big presentation.
That's a good one.
It's like having a reset button in your pocket.
Okay, I'm sold. Inhale 4, hold 7, exhale 8. Got it.
Perfect.
Okay, so let's shift gears a little bit and talk about something that I'm really excited about.
Okay.
And that's the link between physical activity and stress reduction.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we all know that exercise is good for us. But what is actually happening in our brains and bodies when we move?
It's like a cascade of happy chemicals.
Really?
Yeah. Exercise releases endorphins, which are these feel-good neurotransmitters that act as natural painkillers
Oh, wow.
and mood boosters.
Mm.
But it's not just endorphins.
Okay.
Regular exercise also increases serotonin and dopamine.
Interesting.
And those are super important for regulating mood, sleep, and even motivation.
So it's not just about burning calories and toning muscles. It's about like creating this cocktail for a happier brain.
You got it. And there's fascinating research about how exercise can actually impact our stress response system. One study found that people who exercise regularly actually had lower levels of cortisol.
Mm.
That's the stress hormone
Right.
in response to stressful situations.
Oh.
So they were actually better equipped to handle the pressure.
That makes so much sense. It's like training for a marathon, but for life's challenges. Does it have to be like intense exercise to reap those benefits, though?
The great news is that any movement that you enjoy can make a difference.
Yeah.
Even moderate intensity activities like brisk walking,
Oh, yeah.
dancing, or even gardening. can
Wow.
really help reduce stress levels
That's great.
and boost your mood. The key is to find something you like and do it regularly.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay, so no need to sign up for a boot camp unless that's your thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, I want to switch gears one more time. Talk about something that some people might think is boring or restrictive,
Okay.
but I think is super important.
Okay.
And that's the importance of healthy routines.
Yeah.
You seem to view them in a positive light.
I do. I think the key is to reframe routines as acts of self-care,
Mm.
not restrictions.
Yeah.
When we build healthy routines, it's like we're creating a foundation for our well-being,
Mm.
a consistent sleep schedule, regular meals, dedicated time for relaxation. These all contribute to a sense of stability and control,
Right.
which can be really grounding when everything else feels chaotic.
Yeah, it's like we're building this framework or this scaffolding for a strong mind.
That's a great way to put it. And there's actually research showing a link between irregular routines and increased anxiety.
Really?
One study found that people with erratic sleep patterns were much more likely to experience anxiety and mood swings.
So even going to bed and waking up around the same time every day can have a real impact on our mental health.
Absolutely.
Oh.
And it's not just sleep either. Regular meal times are really important too. Skipping meals
Right.
or eating at weird times can lead to changes in your blood sugar,
Mm.
which can trigger anxiety and mood swings.
So those mid-afternoon slumps
Uh,
could be more than just needing a coffee.
yeah.
It could be your body saying, hey, I need fuel.
Yeah, and consistency.
And consistency. Okay, got it.
Our bodies thrive on predictability.
Mm.
When we provide that consistency, it creates a sense of calm
Right.
and control,
Wow.
which is so powerful when it comes to managing anxiety.
Yeah, it sounds like building healthy routines is less about being rigid
Right.
and more about listening to our bodies and giving them what they need.
I love how you put that. It's about honoring your needs and making choices that nourish you both physically and mentally.
Now let's talk about something that's so important for mental health,
Okay.
but I think sometimes gets overlooked.
Right.
And that's the power of social support.
Yeah,
We're wired for connection as humans,
we are.
but it's so easy in today's world to feel isolated.
Yeah.
How can connecting with others help us manage stress and anxiety?
It's in our DNA to connect with others.
Mm.
We're social creatures.
Yeah.
And research shows that having those strong social connections
Yeah.
can actually lower your levels of anxiety and depression.
Wow.
And just sharing your feelings
Mhm.
with someone you trust.
Yeah.
Whether it's a friend, family member, therapist, can help process your emotions, gain perspective, and just feel less alone.
Yeah, it's like having the safety net, knowing you don't have to go through tough times alone.
Exactly.
But what about those of us that are maybe more introverted
Yeah.
or who have trouble reaching out? How can we tap into that?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything big.
Okay.
Even a quick text to a friend that says, hey, thinking of you, or calling a family member, or even if you prefer interacting online, there's tons of online communities and support groups where you can connect with people who have similar interests or are going through similar challenges.
So whether it's meeting for coffee or chatting online,
Uh-huh.
it's about finding ways to connect that feel authentic and comfortable for you.
Exactly. And remember, support can come in many forms. It doesn't always have to be deep emotional conversations.
Right.
Sometimes it's just sharing a laugh, going for a walk together, or doing something fun that gets your mind off your worries.
It's remembering that we're not alone
Right.
and that there are people who care.
Yes. And that brings us to our last topic for this part. Recognizing when you might need more help
Okay.
and seeking professional help.
This is a tough one to talk about, but
Uh-huh.
it's so important. We need to break the stigma surrounding mental health.
Yeah.
Seeking professional help is a sign of strength,
Right.
not weakness.
For sure.
How do you know, though, when it's time to reach out for more support?
That's a really important question, I think, if you're feeling overwhelmed
Yeah.
by anxiety or stress, and it's impacting your daily life, your relationships,
Right.
your ability to function. It's definitely time to consider seeking professional help.
And what about people that are hesitant to see a therapist?
Right.
What can we say to kind of encourage them to take that step?
Yeah, I mean, it's totally understandable to be hesitant.
Right.
Therapists are trained professionals who are there to help you.
Right.
They can offer you a safe space to work through your challenges and develop healthy coping mechanisms. And therapy is not a one-size-fits-all approach.
Okay.
There are many different types of therapy available. It's about finding a therapist who's right for you and for your needs.
It's kind of like finding a personal trainer,
Exactly.
but for your mental health.
Uh-huh. Therapists can help you identify those negative thought patterns, develop better skills for coping, and really just build resilience to stress.
Hmm.
It's an investment in your well-being.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground in this first part of our deep dive.
We have.
We explored mindfulness breathing techniques,
Ah,
exercise routines, social support, the importance of knowing when to seek help.
yeah.
And I feel like we've only just scratched the surface.
Oh, there's so much more.
Really?
In part 2, we're going to go even deeper into some specific research findings and practical tips that you can start using right away.
That's fantastic. I can't wait.
Me either.
Stay tuned for part 2 of our deep dive into managing anxiety and stress. We're going to take all this great knowledge
Yeah.
and turn it into action.
Can't wait.
All right, everybody. We'll see you soon.
See